Welcome back everyone to my low-level playthrough of Chrono Trigger on the Wii Virtual Console. Last episode, we discovered the rainbow shell, and the king, back in 600 AD, he sent his soldiers to take the rainbow shell to Guardia Castle and keep it there. So let's see what that has done in the present here. And it's not good. Also in the last episode, we recovered the moonstone from the future, put it in the Sun Keep back in 65 million BC, and charged it up, and we got the Sunstone, and that gave Luca her ultimate weapon, and these are Sunshades, which increase a character's attack power. But here, I guess they didn't take very good notes, or they didn't pass on that the rainbow shell was given and was supposed to be shown at the Millennial Fair, because the king here has no idea about it. And we see now that because of that, he's being put on trial by the Chancellor, who says the king has sold the rainbow shell to basically fund his own, I guess, pleasures or escapades or whatever the king needs money for. I don't know why he needs money, but apparently the Chancellor is claiming that the king has sold the rainbow shell. So Luca basically says that Marle's like, we don't have the, she didn't realize that, they have the emblem, but she's still thinking that, when she grew up there was no emblem, but, or heirloom, but now that we changed the past, there is been an heirloom, and that's why there's this new basement here. What's this? The boss is to avenge a grudge and has found it for 13 years. And this is kind of a throwback to Yakra, the evil Chancellor, or the monster that took over for the Chancellor in 600 AD. Yeah, because these monsters here are the same ones that we fought in the chapel, where they kidnapped Queen Lene. So Yakra has had this grudge for 13 generations. Now he's finally getting his revenge, apparently, on the king. So we got a bunch of weak enemies here. I'm just throwing Luca in to get a few more tech points, but because these enemies are so weak, doesn't really, you're not getting a lot of tech points here. But might as well. So yeah, it's pretty neat how they brought back a guy from way back in the beginning of the game, Yakra, and kind of brought his story back to the present day here, to this time. We will be alternating the party though to fight Yakra the 13th, because they said it was 13th generation. We'll be putting Chrono in for Luca. You could put Frog or Robo in, or make it a little bit easier, but Chrono will suffice. Alia's going to be the main damage dealer. Just adding either Frog or Robo into the party would just make things a little faster. But I'll be speeding up that battle anyway. Because it's a relatively tame battle. It's not that hard. Once again, it's another one of those things, you get the boss in a loop that he can never defeat you, and then it's just a matter of taking him out, over time. So one of the difficult things that Yakra the 13th is going to do is he's going to use status effects. So we're going to put the amulet on Alia, because that prevents status effects from happening. And we'll put the Nova armor on Chrono, or we put on Robo or Frog if we're using them instead. And that'll prevent them from getting status ailments. Marle, unfortunately, she's going to be hit with status ailments if he does target her. But she's going to be spending a lot of her time knocked out, basically. So it ain't really going to matter. And here we go. We have the rainbow shell. course, it's a little too heavy to carry, but we're going to take a little piece of it. And for some reason, the Queen Lene knows that Marle is going through some trouble with her father 400 years in the future. Or maybe she just predicted it. I guess that would make more sense. She predicted probably something going on. But anyway, this is going to basically, like I said, reconcile Marle with her father. So we get the piece of the shell. And unfortunately, we're going to get there a little too late. Because the king is already going to be sentenced. As you can see, the first guy comes out and he's finds him guilty. Just run out of here. I'm gonna bump into this guy. But we can run, doesn't matter. Probably by the time it took me to run, I probably would have defeated that Yeti. I have Chrono set up that he has maxed out speed. Because he's just going to be basically a healer in this battle. So unfortunately we're now allowed to save our game. But the boss ain't too bad. There's a chest there that we couldn't open. We'll find out about that later in the next episode. Sneak into the back here. Looks like the king's been found 4-1 guilty. Chancellor's like, yes, the line of Guardia is finished. Chancellor's like, I'm gonna be the king now. Not if Marle can help it. So sneak through the back here. Basically, pull the cover out from the cover off of the Chancellor. And just like in 600 AD, the Chancellor here has been replaced by Yakra the 13th. So Yakra, the first Yakra, he replaced the Chancellor in 600 AD. Now his ancestor 13 generations later just tried the same thing. He's much tougher though, but he's manageable. So there's the, like I said, the status ailments. Chrono will just heal Marle up. We want to have Marle mainly around just to be alive, to cast haste on Aelia. And if you rock throw to, you could use triple kick, but triple kick wouldn't do too much more damage, and it uses twice as many tech points. So the best bang for your buck is using the rock throw. Yeah. So this first phase, he just single targets characters with a status ailment. He'll occasionally shoot these needles that hit everybody. Or he'll do like a little earthquake that will hit everybody. But nothing really much to worry about. Like I said, Aelia is protected from that chaos with the amulet. And then her armor and the safe helm are basically keeping her alive from Yakra's attacks. So just basically solo the first half of Yakra here. And the capture card got started acting up, so I had to pause it real quick. Restart it. But then Yakra's going to go into his second phase. He'll start talking about how he heard weaknesses from his ancestor. I don't know how the only one he fought though from this party would have been Chrono. We didn't have Aelia back then, and Marle was of course sucked away in that time void. Yeah, he'll mention that when he does that, he will shoot one of those needles that takes out everybody in the party, and then he does 3 single target attacks. There it is, heard about my ancestors. When he says that, heal yourself up. Because he's basically going to hit everybody with that needle. And then he's going to use his needle version 13.0, and that's basically all weaknesses. I guess he's going to hit everybody. But since Aya's the only one alive, and she's the only target. And then once he does that, he's going to go back to his original phase, basically. And at that point, we can revive Chrono and Marle. And Marle will reapply haste on Aelia. That initial haste that we put on Aelia, that basically helped her survive those 3 attacks that Yakko the 13th did in a row there. The Needle Rush and then the Needle version 13.0. Because otherwise Yakko kind of outspeeds her. So there's Chrono, he's going to be there just to basically throw mid-ethers at Aelia, keep her and keep her tech points up. And he can also, you know, occasionally provide an extra target for Yakko. Every turn that he spends healing Aelia is just another one that she's allowed to attack. He can revive Marle to reapply to haste. Unfortunately, he finishes when you defeat Yakko the 13th. He does a counterattack that will wipe out Marle and Chrono, so more applies to Marle. She will not be getting the tech points that we need after the battle. Chrono doesn't need them because he's already maxed out all his techniques. Same thing with Aelia. Try to keep her alive as long as possible just in case if I need to reapply that haste. We have more than enough revives to get us through the game, so... Because Aelia's hasted, she's, like I said, doing... she can outspeed Yakko. And then he wipes us all out. Well, except for Aelia. We defeated Yakko the 13th. We basically ended Marle's side quest. It's going to get Chrono his best weapon, and it could get the women their best armor. Although we're not going to get their best armor, we're going to get these little lesser prism helms that are still pretty good. Keep that little glowing thing there. You think it might be a tab, because that's how most tabs are around, but actually it's something else. We're going to come back here to this courtroom to get that. It's not necessary to get that, but it's another throwback to the 600 AD when we first started the game and rescued Queen Lene from Yakko and found the Chancellor, the real Chancellor. So here basically the king explains, you know, what happened to Marle's mother, you know, that an illness just took her and that, you know, it wasn't because of something that the king did. And they reconcile. And the king is going to let Marle continue to adventure on one condition. We'll find out the condition in the next episode. Take care, have a good one. Bye.